Greetings. The following podcast may include stories featuring dumb people doing really dumb things, some nonsensical segments, and some saucy language. Consider yourself sufficiently warned. Now enjoy the show.
And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing at the same time. Coming up on episode 124, how far would you go to avoid spoilers? This year's National Toy Hall of Fame inductees are announced. Is the Marvels marvelous? We'll find out, and much, much more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man from San Fran. It's Mr. Kush. Hey, Kush, how you doing, buddy?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here. 124 episodes of the Microdose, the original Microdose. You accept no substitutions because it is the People's Podcast, coming to you all the way from the home of Super Bowl 60. You love us because we do this. We do this because we love you, and no Lathan to throw to you tonight.
Son of a bitch is on vacation.
Man is good for him.
I guess.
He works hard, that little AI bot.
But now I have to push buttons. What am I paying him for? Also, by the way, this is the Waffle Box, not the Microdose. That's another show.
Did I? What? Damn.
You said 124 of the Microdose. Microdose is the best part of Wednesday, when everyone knows Microdose is the best part of Friday.
That's embarrassing. No, not really. Oh well.
Hey, we're all getting to that age when we're walking into rooms and forgetting why we went in there. You know, our knees hurt. We start making noises when we sit down. We poop ourselves. You know, typical old man shit. But week 3. Oh, hey Mike, that's a really cool graphic hoodie you got there of Grogu from Mandalorian. Oh no, it's just a generic blank green hoodie with a graphic T-shirt over the top. Oh,
I am impressed with your color selection of hoodies, man. How many of these do you have?
Lots.
Okay.
Do you know what the problem is, actually? That I don't have enough graphic tees of the colors. So I have more colors of hoodies than I do of T-shirts.
Fascinating. What colors are you missing?
I have an orange hoodie.
Okay.
But then I have a burnt orange hoodie because that's my favorite color.
Oh.
And then I have I don't know what the color is. It's like if purple and pink had a baby. Okay. That kind of color.
Yeah, I can do it.
So I need to go out. But shout out to Primark. Like hoodies for like $12. Can't get a can of Coke in the restaurant for $12.
Oh, jeez. Right. Or the hospital. Let me tell you something, brother. I too am also keeping with the tradition of the month. We are week 2 of Turtleneck November. And you know what? I kind of miss this look. I wasn't always rocking a medallion when I was wearing stuff like this, but yeah, I think it works.
It's like your Shaft's half brother, adopted brother.
Shift
and Shaft. That'd be a good buddy cop movie. We should make that happen.
Yeah. That is though how I got I got the Kush Hayes name. Like I was just like, ooh, that does sound like Shaft's cousin. I think I'm gonna just take that, and then I did.
He's a pale mother. Shut your mouth.
You never heard the theme from Kush song before?
I think you showed me a few years ago. It's very good. It's very good. Is it still on? Is it on the YouTube?
It is still on YouTube. Yeah.
Maybe we can
the single itself is
Maybe we'll link to it in the description below.
That'll be fun.
For everyone else to watch. Or maybe you could read.
It's just a static graphic, but you can hear it.
No, but I thought you did a music video for it or something like that.
No.
Did you not? I'm sure you showed me something where you did some acting as Kush Hayes. Oh,
news to me.
Wow. Maybe I'm making it up. Maybe it was a dream I had.
Or how great is my career that I'm not remembering important things like being a part of an acting production.
Sure. It was something like a 4 or 5 minute. It was a short, but I'm almost positive that happened. That was real life. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
You know, put a
Caught
little auto
in
tune
a
behind that.
landslide, no escape from reality. Oh, I better stop before we get a copyright strike.
Yeah, right. I was about to join in though, but you're correct.
Open
The bots.
your eyes,
Look
look
up
at
to
the
the skies
skies and
and
see.
see. All right, that's pretty good.
Ah,
We can get our
Other
Zoom
than
sync in. That'd be pretty good.
other than that, how you been? What have you been up to in this last 7 days in this wacky world that we call Earth?
Oh, holy hell! I spent the weekend working for the Golden State Warriors production. First time back for the season. It's been 6 weeks, so took a minute. Got lost in the arena twice. That was funny, but otherwise, yeah, man, got some good work in. Achieved some goals. Uh, Overcame some challenges, and then yeah,
Become a better
just been
person
resting
for
up
it. You
since.
grow as a
Yeah,
human being.
that's what's up. Going back again tomorrow for I forget who. I think the Wizards. I don't know who they're playing, but yeah, NBA TV should be fun.
So you got lost in the arena.
I haven't been there since June. I made a wrong turn. It happens. Thankfully, it's just a giant circle, so you eventually come back to where you need to go.
Did you do some um shit, what's the film called? Spinal Tap. Did you do a Spinal Tap moment where you just like just walking through random doors? Rock and roll. Let's go.
Yes, without most of the chanting though. Like yeah,
Oh, that'd have been good. And then you
no,
just walk
eh,
to the same person again.
it's very easy to get lost in these buildings. Honestly, dude. Like when the Warriors were back at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, you make a wrong turn in the tunnel, and now you're in the Oakland Coliseum where the A's play.
Oh,
It's that happens. Like they're literally just that close to each other. So you can again make a wrong turn and like, oh my god, I'm in a totally different venue. This is not okay. Now I gotta double back.
reminds me of when I was growing up. We used to go to when I used to go to Baz Vegas. It's
Las
like an
Vegas.
nightclub area in Basildon, Essex. It was nothing like
Okay.
Las Vegas, trust me. But I think so. It was a sarcastic, ironic nickname. But they had
Sure,
like
sure.
three nightclubs. I can't remember what they were called. One was called Jumping Jacks, and I can't remember what the other two were. But they were basically like connected through underground tunnels. So you could
Mm.
and they all had a different vibe. So you could go into one nightclub, like, oh, this one's whack, and then you could go into the underground tunnels and pop out. You're in a different nightclub. It was fun.
There's a district in San Francisco called North Beach. It's home to a lot of Italian restaurants, but also sleazy strip clubs, which I
Ooh,
am a fan of. However, these these buildings go all the way back to Prohibition era days. So there's tunnels under
nice.
the club that connect each other, and that's how they were getting booze back and forth during Prohibition days.
But now it's just empty. Just go.
I get it.
Would that have been fun though? I
I
love all that
understand it's haunted.
history shit. But is this is San Francisco that city that has kind of like because of an earthquake or something happened where they just built a city on top of a city and there's like an old city
No,
underneath?
that's Seattle, which I only recently
Ah,
learned
game of
about
an
like a
S.
couple of years ago.
But that shit's fascinating to me. I'd love to
Yeah,
go
right.
walk underneath because like maybe that was an inspiration for Futurama with New York. Did you ever watch
Oh,
Futurama?
yeah. I've seen three of the four iterations of it, Futurama,
I know it's
but
back again.
yeah.
That
Hulu
shit just
renewed
keeps
it.
getting cancelled and keeps coming back.
It's the little show that won't quit, man. But at this point, I'm just like, I can't do anymore, guys. Go on without me. Go on without me. Fry. It'll be fine. Um, yeah, no. If you ever are in the Seattle area, they give tours. I again only found out about this a couple years ago, and I haven't been there since before then. So, but it's just like perfectly preserved. Just obviously don't go in any of the buildings because they're not structurally sound.
Where are you going? There must be ghost tours.
For sure.
I love ghost tours because they're so
Okay.
dumb. So there was that one like did you I was watching if you go on YouTube on the
Mhm.
WWE's YouTube World Wrestling Entertainments they have like a I don't think it's like a regular thing it just happens every now and again but they have two of their wrestlers one is called Shotzi and one's called Scarlet I believe their names are
Yeah,
and
I'm
they do
familiar with
like
Shotzi.
yeah it's like the she's like I think she's Filipino with green hair, or now she's bald.
Yeah, she's out of Oakland.
Yeah, she's very good.
She's an Oakland girl.
She's a lovely looking lady. But they're into like all the spiritual shit, and they take like wrestlers to haunted locations, and they take them around, and it's just they're like Judge Judy to me, where it's like, this is trash, but I can't not watch this. Where they just walk around with like an iPhone with, I mean, it says it's supposed to be like a ghost reading machine or some shit, but it's clearly an iPhone with an app. Oh. And it's just like, it like goes, meh. And they're like, oh, see, oh my God, did you hear that? It said, go away. Did it? Yeah. It's gonna kill us. What? Why is this? One thing, they had like a bear. That, you know, one of those bears that if you like squeeze them, it goes, oh, sure. And it was just sitting in the corner, and it would just start randomly going, oh, squeeze me. It's like, fucking hell, what the? Why is the ghost squeezing the bear? Why would it do that? I don't know. Like if it was been a big.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if it's a child's bedroom, maybe I could connect the dots, but it was like an old prison. Why the fuck would a guy who just got put away for murder being like, should I talk to the hot Filipino girl, or that bear's pretty cute? Doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it does. That's okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the paranormal videos on YouTube. There's stuff out there like I can see the string, or that's not a demon, stupid. You're in an abandoned hospital at 3 a.m. That's a homeless guy trying to sleep. One, you're interrupting him, and two, he doesn't know who you are and if you're a danger him. So that's why you just see his little hand. But then there's stuff like there's no explanation for it, and I find that stuff very fascinating.
Orbs are my favorite bit.
Orbs
did you see the orb? It's dust. It's a speck of dust.
No, I understand.
Oh no, it's an orb. It's trying to communicate to us. No, it's trying to communicate that you need to clean this fucking room. There you go. What else has been up to? What have I been up to? Oh, Thanksgiving's fast approaching. I attended a Friendsgiving the other day. Have you ever done a Friendsgiving?
Not in a while, but they're fun. Yeah, they're nice.
It sounded more fun than it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had fun, but it's just you just go around someone's house and drink and eat, which is like, is this any different to any other time that I'd come over?
You're not surrounded by your family members.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess this is like, instead of me going, I'm catering, so I have to bring food. And it's like, it used to be fun, like everyone used to cook. Now it's just, which restaurant are they going to collect food from? And we just bring.
However you get the food there, dude. Some of us aren't cooks.
But, you know, I'm getting older, as we've mentioned. So now I just spent my night drinking and helping assemble toys for my friends' kids.
Fun?
It was fun.
No.
They had some like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle inspired Rock'em Sock'em robots. That was fun.
Nice.
I destroyed his 2-year-old son. Like, he's weak.
Get him, Mike. I don't think it exists anymore, but there used to be a thing called the Sears catalog. It would come out Christmas time, the Wish book, and sure enough, like, I'm looking at it right now inside my brain. There's a Masters of the Universe Rock'em Sock'em robot gimmick between He-Man and Skeletor, and sure enough, you uppercut Skeletor and
that head neck breaks. So why are we letting kids play with this shit?
Because it's fun.
Yay! Break someone's neck with an uppercut. Anyway, shall we get into the meat and potatoes of the show? Should we get into the main event?
Yeah, I think we've had enough appetizers.
But I guess I have to press the jingle button. Ugh. Anyway, Mike, that's me. Press the button. It's now time for this. Where is the button? Oh, God, Lathan, you should have left notes. It's now time for this week's top stories.
It's now time for this week's top stories.
Should have re-recorded the jingles with my voice since I'm doing the work. Now Lathan's getting all the credit saying top stories. I wonder where he went. Should have let us know.
We'll find out somewhere sunny.
Maybe. Oh, he's got a nice tan. With a, do you reckon he's a drinker? For some reason, I always I imagine he's like a mocktail drinker.
He's reportedly been hungover a couple times now.
True. Maybe it was a sugar thing, sugar high, too much sugar.
Not impossible, not impossible. I don't know. I hope he's in somewhere warm, or he's in some Instagram hose Google Photos file and just having a blast.
He's definitely holding a giant glass with some random fruit in it, like a big banana just sticking out, and an umbrella, a giant umbrella.
There you go.
With the little Tesla thing. Something classy. Something classy. Anyway, this week's top stories. First one comes to us from, actually the first couple. Oh, this is a very Australian themed waffle box. We're going down under. Yeah, go down under with the old criminals. So if you understand that reference, it's because Australia used to be where English people put their criminals. That's where. But they're all fine, upstanding citizens now, I'm sure. That hate
a continent
people
so dangerous that 60% of it is still uninhabitable. I might have the wrong number, but like the majority of that country is still just like demons and giant mosquitoes that'll just stab you through the heart. Pterodactyls, probably.
Snakes fucking behind microwaves. Do you remember that story from a few months back?
Yeah, terrifying.
But yeah, real talk though. Like, you know how America eventually was like, hey, you know what? We were kind of really shitty to the indigenous native people of this land.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at the very least we could do is give them some land to put casinos on, and we won't really charge them much tax, and then they can kind of make a bunch of money, right?
Something like that, sure.
Something like that. It's very much native history in America for dummies kind of summarization.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Australia, they kind of look at their this is what America does to their natives. Fuck that. We're just gonna still treat them like seventh-class citizens. All right. Assholes, fucking wankers. Anyway, that's my little off the soapbox. But this one comes to listen. There's no joke there. Fuck you, Australia.
Okay.
Be nice to the natives. Anyway,
I don't think that's an unreasonable request. Be nice to the natives, sure.
And in New Zealand doing the same. They were voting against. But anyway,
oh,
this one. Oh, police. Having fun over in Australia. So, Kush, you know, we just did. I think if you go to extrawaffle.com, you can see like a bonus episode we did once about spoilers and like how soon can you do spoilers, and what is a spoiler if it's actually happened already, and you can, it's not necessarily a spoiler, whatever. But how are you a man that kind of like avidly avoid spoilers, or do you kind of just live your life and be like, you know what, if I find out, it's my fault because I didn't see it soon enough?
I try to, if I haven't seen something after X number of weeks or months, I'm clearly just not interested, and so I just don't care. And the way I live my life, my name is Kush. I smoke a lot of weed. I usually won't even remember it when I finally do get to see the movie. So, you know, I've done away with spoilers when SmackDown started taping on Tuesdays to broadcast on Thursdays. I'm like, but you know what I learned? Don't go to the SmackDown spoilers thread, and then you won't have any of these problems. You know, when I'm excited about that new dope Avengers movie, I see something in the headline, Avengers, blah blah blah. I just see Avengers and I go, I'm not clicking that. I'm not even going to finish the sentence. So it's yeah. So I'm pretty loose about spoilers. I try not to give any spoilers if you've seen any of our 123 other reviews on this show, except for the times we're like, fuck it, we're doing spoilers.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion
people
of like
make a big goddamn deal.
Like if there is something I'm excited to see, but for whatever reason I can't see it yet, like I'll try to proactively avoid spoilers. Like I'll sometimes, even with like Avengers, I remember Avengers movie, I'll go through Twitter, as it used to be called back in my day, and I would like use muted terms. So like if anyone mentioned Avengers in the tweet, I wouldn't see it, and I would go that hardcore. However, if someone mentions, oh,
I
hey,
know.
did you see there was 3 Spider-Men in that movie? I'm like, fuck. But I'm not going to hate on the person because it's my fault. I don't want to go to a packed out theater, so I'm waiting 4 months to see it. But if someone mentions it to me, it's not their fault. It's my fault, right? That makes sense.
For
However,
Spider-Man, absolutely. Yeah.
although I was still surprised, even though I knew about the 3 Spider-Men. You know, the whole Daredevil bit, the little Easter egg where he was Daredevil was his lawyer. Oh, I did enjoy that. Anyway, so Top Gun Maverick came out, apparently. That was a thing. Tom Cruise, fighter jet pilot, and all that stuff. And there was a fella named Dominic Gaynor, who's a 30-year-old cop over in Sydney. He recently pleaded guilty to, quote, carrying a firearm with disregard for a colleague's safety after he threatened to shoot another police officer who said that he would reveal spoilers from the Top Gun sequel. That's insane. Like, because like, it's just in general in life, if you pull out a gun, I mean, I know different states, different countries have different gun laws, but I'm pretty sure most places frown upon you just threatening to shoot another human being. So this is not going to end well anyway. But if you're a police officer, that you're held to a little higher, at least you should be. Like, how badly do you not want to know what? But I'm also, while I was like playing this, maybe you'll be able to help me with this answer, Kush, because you're more of the movie guy than I am.
I've heard that.
Was there anything in Top Gun Maverick where you're like, wow, I did not see that coming? Or was it a pretty cookie cutter Tom Cruise movie? Because as far as I remember, it was pretty, like, other than Val Kilmer, I guess, that was in it. That was pretty cool, but I wouldn't say it was a mind blowing moment. It was a Tom Cruise movie. It
was a cookie cutter imitation of Top Gun updated, but the stunts is what drew you in, and that's the big deal. And yeah, do we know how long ago this incident happened? Because I doubt this. When this was brought to our attention, at first I was like, "Oh, look at what happened last weekend," but now I'm starting to think like, no, this is something that actually like happened within the first couple of weeks of Top Gun Maverick. Like that thing made $1 billion. So if this just happened last week, well, fuck that guy. Fuck
that
him,
would
and
be
he
funny.
deserves to hear all the spoilers.
Well, it doesn't.
$1 billion.
In the article that you shared with me from variety.com, the article was written November 9th, so only last week. And the court hearing, spoiler alert, he had to go to court, happened recently. So I don't know whether, sometimes if you go into court, sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but it can't have been that long ago. So I reckon it was relatively recent.
It was long enough that paperwork's been processed for a court hearing to have happened. Regardless of anything, it's not cool to pull your gun on it, but does make funny story. I understand getting upset if, again, a couple of weeks have passed, like I can't get away from work. The wife is nagging me. The little kid keeps pissing all over the carpet. Like I can't get to see Top Gun in the first 2 weeks. Please shut up. But if this just happened last week, in November 2023, go fuck yourself. Grow up. You didn't see the movie. You're clearly not interested in it.
But at most, depending on how close you are with the person, like if you say, "Don't spoil this movie for me," and then he spoils it for you, just give him a good punch in the arm. I think that's warranted. But then
punch in the arm is pretty good.
But yeah, like you say, the main thing Top Gun Maverick was the stunts, and I don't think if he was like, "Don't you fucking spoil this movie for me? Don't you spoil it? Don't you spoil it?" There's some really cool plane stunts. Oh, you fuck! Yeah. Like, of course it was going to be in it. Oh, there's a beach volleyball scene. What? Shock.
We did a review for Killers of the Flower Moon about a month ago here on the Waffle Box, and again, I explained how I do text messages to friends. So this text I sent out for that one is like, it's 4 fucking hours long, or it's like 3.5 hours long. It should have only been 2.5 hours long. Like blah 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 blah. All I mentioned was the time, and someone replied to me, "Stop ruining movies." And I was like, "What?" I'm sorry, what happened here? Like, all I said was, I like movie, dragged in the middle, too long. And that's a spoiler. And like, yes. So some people take this shit a little too far. And the end result will be they just don't get a text anymore.
Like, what do they
Yeah.
think? Like, when they go to the website, I guess, to book the ticket and it says movie name, runtime, do they go, oh, fucking spoilers? Jeez. I was looking to be surprised by how bored I get.
They explained it to me that because I said it drags at the 2.5 hour mark, that is indeed a spoiler because it's like, oh, now I'm gonna be bored the rest of it. Like, this is just my opinion.
I mean,
Your opinion might be different, but yeah, even I balk at that, and I'm just like, I just won't send you another text. Sorry.
I guess I can see at least where they're coming from, but then that would mean that they're sitting there in the movie theater with a stopwatch. And like it gets like to 2 hours 25. Oh, it's about to get shit. Oh, here it comes. Fucking Kush ruining this movie for me. Yeah, I don't think that's a spoiler. But yeah, so Dominic Gaynor took out his gun and pointed it, quote, in the vicinity of fellow officer Morgan Royston after Royston threatened to spoil the movie. His lawyer described the incident as, quote, a case where the skylarking and tomfoolery, oh, that's some good word usage, in an employment context has gone awry. Might be one of my favorite sentences I've ever read from an article in quite some time. Gaynor was given a community correction order for 2 years, 100 hours of community service, and a recorded conviction. So there you go, kids. Just punch him in the arm. Don't pull out a gun. Use this firearm. Oh, look at my firearm.
Yeah,
Those
super
listening,
aggressive
I'm
move.
flexing my muscle. Girl, I'm a man. Wow.
When was the last time you had a movie spoiled for you? Because I'm trying to think, and I mean, like, I have the advantage because I see almost everything, but I can't think of a movie like, God damn it, I really wanted to see that, and now I'm not going to see it because you said something stupid.
I mean, I guess the last one's probably the Spider-Man.
Okay.
Probably. But the reason, like, the only closest thing I've come to is, I guess, where I heard someone said about John Cena being in a Barbie movie, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I guess, like, but it wasn't like a, oh, why did you tell me moment. It was just like, they took away a slight, look at that, John Cena, that's cool moment. But I've been pretty lucky. Touch wood.
Okay.
I don't have any wood now.
Yeah.
Where's the wood?
Yeah, I can't.
Is this table wood?
Think of anything.
I'm touching it just in case.
I usually just knock on the skull. That's usually made of wood.
Get it? My head's made of wood. Staying in Australia. This might be a good nomination for Idiot's Corner. Ooh. So, a man in New South Wales, also in Australia, was out hiking and came across a snake. Right?
Oh,
that's
man.
A standard thing. Right, you're in Australia, you're out hiking in the wilderness, you're going to come across snakes. There's a lot of them live there. They're huge. They
you
have
might just
beards.
be going to the grocery store. You might just be going to the grocery store downtown in New South Wales.
Yeah, and then you just see a snake hissing. Like, hey, you got $1? Got a spare cigarette? Snakes are huge. Got tattoos and everything.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, so I summarized this article. This is like just a new thing I'm doing. Rather than just copying and pasting, I'm like reading the article and summarizing the article. And I wrote this several days ago. So this caught me off guard with my little summarization, and it made me chuckle. Okay. I made myself laugh. How sad is that? So yeah, let me read this. A man from New South Wales, Australia, was out hiking and came across a snake. Rather than continuing to live his life, he decided to pick up the snake and was promptly bitten by it. That doesn't sound like a big story. Oh, a man got bit by a snake that he fucked with. That's shock. Spoiler. There we go. But then he was like, oh, this isn't going to be the end of my story with this snake. Oh. Rather than going, fuck, it bit me, and throwing it down to the ground and going to seek medical attention, No, he thought, this would be a really cool thing to take home and show my children. So he held on to the snake that just bit him.
Okay, but it's not attached to him anymore.
I guess not. That might be why he took it home, because it was that's just coiled around his arm. Maybe it's like, oh, wherever you going, I'm going, pal. His. Why don't you buy that apple? No. Shout out to Garden of Eden reference there.
Dig it.
But then, so he took it home and was like, hey kids, look at this snake I found. Oh, is it hot in here or is it just me? And to which he then passed out because the snake had poisoned him. So, and
it's weird that this man is an Australian and does not just
know how snakes work.
Yeah, once you get bit, if you're supposed to like not move at all. You're supposed to stay as still as you can, because the more you move, your blood starts pumping, and the more your blood starts pumping, that venom gets right to your heart and deads you.
It can dead you. But luckily, all he got was violent vomiting and a badly swollen hand.
Oh, word. So he still didn't die. God damn.
He didn't die, luckily.
Like immortal.
So an expert later identified the snake as a broad-headed snake which injects neurotoxins into the bloodstream when they bite.
So he got high too? Shit.
Yeah. Which can lead to incapacitation. I can't say that word tonight.
Incapacitation.
And in some cases, death. But luckily, he was treated at a local hospital and was able to return home 6 hours later to recover, not before the expert had removed the snake from his house. So he was like stuck at the hospital and was like, can I go home? No.
No.
I'm going to take that snake away because clearly you can't be fucking trusted. But
regardless of your earlier feelings, Mike Fish, the Australians are like made out of like titanium or something, dude. Like I just don't get it.
Oh, if we're going to use this story as a definition of what Australians are like, they're fucking idiots.
Idiots who apparently don't know how to die.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Credit where credit is due, I guess. You got a tough system there. You didn't die from being bitten by the snake. But if this is like reminds me when I see when you see those posters where it's like or like the commercials around 4th of July where it's like, oh, don't hold a firework in your hand. And you're like, yeah, that's an obvious thing not to do. But the whole purpose, the whole reason those signs are existing is because apparently some people don't know and they hold the firework in their hand and they get their hand blown off because they're fucking idiots. Like, this is like, if you see a snake in the wild, one, leave it. Just let it live its life. Or two, if you have to, for whatever reason, you have to pick it up. Once it bites you, drop the snake, go to the hospital. Don't take it home to your kids. Like, what the?
Maybe take it to the hospital. Maybe take the snake
to
the hospital.
So they can get the venom and do the antivenom pills.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to be like turning black and then you're going to have to go eat chickens because you can't eat other humans.
I do like chickens.
Venom reference.
Oh,
I'm just full of pop culture references tonight. Look at me. I'm just like pop culture reference. Pop culture reference. I'm just going from terrible Sony Marvel movies, Garden of Eden. I've got everything tonight. Oh, I'm on fire. Like the bush. Another biblical reference. Jeez.
Damn, son.
Oh, we are going to be big in the Christian podcast community now.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck you, Judas, you cunt. They love that shit. They hate Judas. Apparently he was a bad friend. But it's a really good Fozzy song. Do you ever listen to Fozzy? Chris Jericho's band?
I know of it. No, I heard the one big track they had on their first or second album that Chris Jericho would use as his intro at the time, but I haven't heard anything since.
Look up
That is,
Judas.
they do have a fun story though.
Because they used to be called Fozzy Osbourne. They used to be a Black Sabbath cover band.
Yeah, that's not even the funny part though. Like
What's the
Chris
funny
Jericho
part?
is already a universally recognized professional wrestler. Like he shows up to a mall just to sign some photos, and it's the lines down the block and outside the building and around. But Chris Jericho is going to be playing with his best friends, some Ozzy Osbourne. No one gave a shit. Like for the first year and a half, like he was literally doing indie shows again, where like 6 people were in the crowd.
Is that the fun story?
That is a fun story. Now they sell out fucking concert halls.
And they do all the festival tour. They're like big. They're very big in England for some reason. They do a
How
lot
far
of
out?
big shows in England.
Okay. Know your audience
English people are weird.
and know where your audience is. Good for them.
And now it's time for the main event of this week's top stories. Oh, it's that special time of year, not Thanksgiving. It's the National Toy Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Oh, I wish I had a really cool jingle for that, but there you go. So last year, what was we discussing this off air? Last year, those nominations was the Master of the Universe, Light Bright,
Yeah.
and a top.
A top.
Spinny top.
Very simple. Very simple.
And
Like
other-
Bright, those maybe the best one of that three. I mean,
And
I
other-
love He-Man, but I'm sorry, Mike. Go.
No worries, no worries. It's all good, brother. It's all good. Other fantastic inductions or inductees include, what's it, Stick, Chalk.
Chalk's one of my favorite.
But they're
Stick is
going
pretty
real
good,
to the
too.
basics here. It's really good. I like it. So now we got the nominees and the inductees. Obviously, I got this story a little bit late, but what we're going to do,
That's
we're going
all
to
right.
play a little fun. I'm going to name the nominees, and then Kush, you have to go back to your youth. I know it was a long time ago, but you have to go back to your youth and try to just think what three deserve to be immortalized in the National Toy Hall of Fame.
All right.
So, our nominees are Ken doll,
All right. Specifically, the Ken doll.
the Ken doll, baseball cards.
Oh,
Although this is where I'm like, is baseball card? It's a collectible. Is that a toy? I don't
it's
know how
definitely
the-
collectible. It's not a toy, but I get why
Yeah,
it's in there.
Because the kind of cards I'm thinking of are like where it becomes a toy. Is what's the game where like you have a character on the card and it gives you like 4 stats,
Just
and
like
then you have to say,
Magic the
strength
Gathering.
54, and then if their character's strength is less, then you win their card or some shit like that. I can't remember what it's
You're talking
called.
about a role-playing game.
No, so it wasn't a role playing game, but it's like top. I don't know, that doesn't
Pokemon. It's all. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
That's what you're saying. That's more of a toy. Baseball cards is just it's hey, this is Derek Jeter. Cool. I'll just stick it on my bike's wheel. with a
Yeah,
little
that's the
head.
toy part, or one of the
Is
toy
that the toy
parts.
part? I guess it's more of a
That's one of the
decoration.
toy parts.
Other nominations:
Burn.
Battleship.
Okay, yeah, I get
Great
that.
game. That's a great game to play at a brewery. I love playing battleships at a brewery.
Okay, I've never done that. That would be fun. I can see that being fun.
Bingo.
Yeah, sure.
Is bingo a game? It's gambling.
No, bingo is a game. Well, bingo is a game, but is it a toy?
Or is it the name of a dog?
Oh, both.
B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O,
You're full of them tonight, Michael.
B-I-N-G-O, and bingo was his name. Oh,
Mike
well,
Tyson,
I was
you
never
are
a big
full
fan of that song because it's just cheating. Because it's like, we need something that rhymes with O. Well,
It's a great way to kill 10 minutes on a car ride, unfortunately.
Bingo
You know,
was
don't-
his name. O. Yeah, it's another O at the end. Boom. Nailed it.
Yeah, you teach your 4-year-old how to spell. Don't worry about bingo.
99 bottles of beer on the wall. Another nomination, Bop It. Now that's
Bop
a toy. That's a toy.
That's an assault weapon.
Bop it. Twist it. touch it, whoop it, pass it, all that good stuff.
I got a couple fun stories about these selections. What else?
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Ooh, that's a lock right there.
That
one's definitely getting.
This one. Oh, many hours of my childhood wasted with this bad boy. Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Oh, that's in too. Yeah, that's also a lock.
I had a really good one. It was like Hunt for a Loch Ness Monster. And it would be like, oh, something, you see something in the water. Do you take a picture or don't? Because you only had like a certain amount of film in your camera. And you take a picture, go to page 54. And you go to page 54. Oh, it was a bicycle. Fuck. Oh, I have to mark off my card or wasted a bit of my film.
You remember doing the choose your own adventure, and then you'd get to that part and you're like, all right, turn to page 12 if you want to do this, turn to page 24 if you want to do this. So you would hold the spot. You're like, well, let's see what happened on page 12.
Oh, you cheated?
No, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. All right, go back to 24. All right, we're gonna do 24. And then you'd be on and go like, turn to 16 or turn to page 10.
Oh, I died of dysentery. Let's go to page 10 instead.
Yeah, that's also a lock.
Another good brewery game, Connect 4. Oh, that's I tell you what, I've had many arguments over Connect 4.
Okay.
And then that because they're only bad losers, and then like, oh, now I have to run around the outside area of the brewery to collect the pieces again because you're a child. That and Jenga.
It's very strange that you were allowed in a brewery at 9 years old, because I can't imagine you having this argument at any age older.
Maybe I was 37. That's a story for another time, I guess. This one, I have no idea what this is. Little Tykes Cozy Coop. I'm assuming, is it a toy car? Little Tykes Cozy Coop.
I don't know what that is. No. Google it.
Google it. To be fair, I should have Googled this before.
Yeah.
Little Tykes Cozy Coop.
Are we doing a live stream?
Oh, it's Oh, we're not doing a live stream right now. No.
Okay.
I forgot about that. Oh, it's one of those like it's like the car.
Is it red with like a yellow top?
Yep, and it has eyes on it.
Okay.
And the child can
like
get
doors.
into it. And I guess they
doors.
drive it like a Flintstone and like run.
I was always jealous of the people who had that. I didn't have one of those, but I wanted one.
You know, a friend of mine, his kid had one of those, and because I'm tall, I'm 6 foot, but I'm very skinny.
Okay,
I could still climb into that shit. I mean, it wasn't comfortable by any stretch of the imagination, but it was funny to do when I was drunk.
Yeah, I was too big for those things when I was like 6, and then I just upgraded to not a BMX. We would have a BMX, but a big wheel, and I had the power brake, so I could do skids.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh my god, tore that fucking thing up.
Next up is Nerf.
Ooh, I think that's our last block.
This is Nerf. Like, is it just that they're just broadly putting in the material
as opposed to the Nerf football?
Is it Nerf football? Is it Nerf gun? Is it Nerf what? So just Nerf, I guess.
Nerf. The Nerf.
The whole concept of Nerf has been nominated.
Okay. Yeah, concept.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have to look this up because it says slim. What the fuck is slim?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, slim is a measurement. It's not a toy.
National Toy Hall.
Slim is an adjective.
Slim?
Slim is what I used to be. Slim is what Mike Fish is.
I wonder if it's slime and they've just fucked up. And
slime makes way more sense, but also you. I remember.
Let's just go with slime.
Wanting to have slime. No, look it up, dude. Look it up. Look it up, Mike. Punch you in the mouth.
This is why Lathan should be here. Fucking
This is why Lathan should
vacation.
be here.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Slime was a fun concept, except for multiple problems. No matter how well you tried to take care of it, eventually it just liquefied all the way. It would release a smell after about a week, and then even before those problems, you or your brother or your friend or your friend's brother would drop it on the goddamn carpet, and then it would become fuzzy. And it just slime was like just there's a reason why boys liked it, but it was also just the grossest, stupidest thing one could get. Lots of furniture ruined because of slime.
And I do have it confirmed that it was indeed slime, not
Copy
slim.
that. Stupid.
Because the way of it, because the last one was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm. Mm.
Teenage
Wow.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to
Wow.
fucking love that shit. I had all.
Oh, yeah.
I had the van. I had
I had the van.
the
Still
lair.
the van. Oh, I didn't have the lair.
I'm
I
sure there
want
was
to
a
say with
helicopter
the
at some
first
point.
3 series, I had all of the figures, and I'm talking about like the Rat King and Baxter Stockman. I had all that shit. I ended up selling them about a decade ago on eBay and got really good money out of it too. FYI.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja. Wow. Dude, this is a very strong list this year.
It is. So just to clarify, so 3 of these get inducted to the National Hall of Fame, and just to go over them once again before you choose. So we've got Ken doll, baseball cards, Battleship, Bingo, Bop It, Cabbage Patch Kids, Choose Your Own Adventure game books, Connect 4, Little Tikes Cozy Coop, Nerf, Slime, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So those are the 12 nominees. Kush,
My
who are
guess
you going
is
for? Who's your 3 you're going for?
Cabbage Patch Kids. Choose your. That is a fucking phenomenon. Like parents were literally fighting each other in store aisles to get their kid a Cabbage Patch when that thing. Yeah, Cabbage Patch Kids. Choose your own adventure, because again, one of the themes of this is, yeah, like stick. You have the biggest thing about stick is you're using your imagination. It can be a gun, it can be a sword, it can be a wand. Stick can be anything. It can be your penis. So choose your own adventure because of imagination and reading and education. And then I'm gonna say Nerf. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is also huge, but I think Nerf has had a bigger impact on the toy industry as a whole. And again, the debate is like, is it just the football? Is it because like they didn't do the Barbie dolls, they did Ken, specifically Ken. So yeah, yeah. Cabbage Patch Kids, Choosing Your Own Adventures, and Nerf is my my guess.
So, where's the drum roll? The answers are Cabbage Patch Kids, I'm so bad at this. Nerf.
Yeah.
And the final baseball cards were nominated. But then what's really I'm trying to find the other ones that were nominated.
Did Arn Anderson run in and hit Ric Flair with a chair? What just happened?
Just Stone Cold. But then they had like another vote, which was called like for the Forgotten 5, and I forgot to write down those Forgotten 5, so that's my bad. But so there's another vote where it's a special vote amongst quite the Forgotten 5, which had been nominated several times in the past but never inducted. So it's kind of like a second chance saloon.
Okay. Ooh.
And they did this as a special vote for the 25th anniversary of the Hall of Fame, and was voted exclusively by the public. And that one was... Oh, it's a banger. Fisher-Price Corn Popper. I never had one myself, but that's a good fucking toy. I think I had like a knockoff version. It was like a lawnmower. but it had green balls.
Dig it. I didn't have one of those, but the lady who babysat me, her youngest kid had one. So I got plenty of hours on that stupid fucking thing. So I know it well. Good for it.
So yeah, congratulations. That's the 2023 National Toy Hall of Fame nominee.
I'm honestly surprised baseball cards winning over Choose Your Own Adventure, like book
Right?
reading. It's like it's interactive. It's the first interactive device for children that didn't rot your brains. And they got graphic too, man. And there was the Choose Your Own Adventure brand, but then there were just like other knockoffs with like Batman or Transformers or Indiana Jones. Like I had a Transformers Choose Your Own Adventure, and I turned to the wrong page, and Starscream vaporized me. And I was like, fuck, that's fucking violent. What the hell, dude?
You definitely know there was adult versions of those, right? Where you're really getting into the lewdness of the novel, and then suddenly it's like, what happens next? And you turn to page 24, and it's like, oh, her husband came home. Fuck.
I did not know that. That would be fun. I know that Neil Patrick Harris, Doogie Howser, Barney Stinson, he did a biography as his Choose Your Own Adventure format. I haven't read it, but I would.
Oh, here we go. Amazon. Oh, go away, view it. Oh, there are some choose your own sex adventure books. Okay. There's Catherine in the City, The Classics Professor. Ooh.
Does Emmanuel have one?
No. Well, this is only on Amazon, so I don't know. Submission, an erotic select your own storyline book. Submission. Oh, very 50 Shades of Grey.
Yep.
And exactly. After Hours Girls. Ooh.
That's what's up. After Hours Girls is probably a banger. No pun intended.
Aye. I'll give you that one. All right. Well, there you go. Congratulations to baseball cards, even though it's not a toy. Cabbage Patch Kids, Nerf, and the Corn Popper. Speaking of things, achieving things, and getting inducted into things, or putting into books and getting a piece of paper that to say, hey, you did some shit. Let's talk about people that are doing that in this week's Dumb World Record.
Wow.
Of the week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
This week's Dumb World Record comes to us from somewhere that isn't mentioned.
Thankfully. So glad it comes to us from somewhere as opposed to nowhere.
A 22-year-old internet star broke an unusual Guinness World Record. They're all unusual, let's be honest, unless it's for like the 100-meter sprint. Something that's actually good.
Yeah, that's adding carbs to the meal.
Yeah.
That's unnecessary. But they're all unusual.
So he broke this world record by pulling his lower lip over his nose, which is known as gurning in the field, in the whatever.
Holy shit.
And holding that position for 1 minute and 2 seconds. Wow. Guinness World Records adjudicator Marco Frigatti said, quote, when performing this trick by putting your lower lip over your nose, you can't breathe. I mean, yeah.
Because you got bad breath, stupid.
So Carson managed to hold his gurning position for 1 minute and 2 seconds, breaking the record of 53 seconds set by China's Shuquan Tang in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think those guys do with that lip sexually?
Like, I don't know. How the fuck do you do it? Like,
I mean, so it's skin. So skin stretches. Well, you can.
Oh, so you got
keep just pulling at your
shit?
lip. Yeah, a couple minutes every day. Yeah, you could stretch your lip, but Why? One. It can't be to like, I must break the Chinese record. China's been fucking us too long. I need to break their world record.
That's one way of
can't be.
expressing your racism. Fuck those Chinese people. I can get let me show you.
The racism in his heart is that strong that he deformed himself. Also, what does his lip look like when it's not on his nose? It's
Very
like worse
floppy.
yeah, it was just doing this the entire time. Like he must be impossible to communicate with, verbally at least.
To be fair,
yeah.
If a guy's claim to fame that he broke the world gurning record, probably not going to want to have a conversation with him anyway. Like, what else is he going to talk about?
If you're introduced to somebody like, hey, this is my friend John, he is the world record holder for the longest gurning, you'd be like, oh, so how long have you been rowing boats? I don't know why boats come to my mind when I hear gurning. What gurning is not a word I've heard before today. Well, so what did you think it was?
Oh, for some reason, I don't know how I came into this, but I've known what gurning is for a long time. I don't know why or how I learned that information, but I knew of gurning. It's just when people like if you Google it, gurning, do a Google image search of gurning, the face looks very no shock. The human face looks very odd with the lower lip stretched over the nose.
Yeah. So, I would not be able to achieve that. No, the nose is way too big for the lip here, and the lips are pretty full.
But yeah, in your example, if I was chatting to a friend, they were like, "Oh, hey, I want you to meet Chad. He's a world record holder." "Oh, really? What world record did you break?" "Oh, he can gurn for the longest time ever." But,
does that mean he knits sweaters?
Does that mean he? I don't know.
I would have a question.
Anyone, but
I would still hear the word of like, what is that?
Again, I don't know, but that just strikes me as the kind of person that doesn't have many friends.
Oh.
Because because even if he did have friends, the moment they go, hey, Dave, do you want to come out? Do you want to hang out tonight? Do you want to hit the bar up? Maybe meet some women? He's like, oh, I got to stay home, work on my gurning. Oh, fucking all right.
Some gurning.
I'm never inviting him out again.
There's got to be something he can do with the women or the men. I don't judge.
Again, if you Google image search what gurning look like, you're lowering your chances, let's say, with the ladies. Like you might get one who's drunk and kind of like you say, maybe like wonder
is there
what that's
a gimmick
like.
Where like she would just ride your face because it's just the low, like again, I got a lot of stubble here, so I just like that's all friction for her.
Oh yeah, I've got an itch. Got an itch in the Gucci area. Come on, Kush.
Yeah.
Lay down.
Don't mind if I do.
Let me just stretch my lip under my nose.
Oh, by the way, do you have any double mint gum or an Altoid or something?
Just trying to chew go, it just falls out his mouth because his lip is just so flaccid.
Oh, but chewing. You can't move your mouth. Can't move your mouth. Good point. I need some mouthwash then. We have some mouthwash. Some menthol.
So apparently he learned this trait while he was at school. And he said ever since third grade, apparently.
Okay.
So he said, I was eating lunch and my classmate told me that when I eat, my whole face disappears. What? So apparently he's just been gurning, like eating like an idiot.
Well, it sounds like he's a glutton in that case, but also just kids say the stupidest shit it makes no sense, but in their minds, like, that's the funny thing to say. So he might have been triggered by some nonsensical thing some dickhead in the third grade told him. And he's probably had no contact with that guy since sixth grade.
He definitely had an issues coming out of this because he said, continues on saying, he asked me to chew without food. And when I chewed and I did this thing with my face, everyone laughed and my teacher went crazy. That's the end of the article. Like I need to know what the fuck happened with like because how did the teacher go crazy?
She
Was
lost
it
control
like
of the class? She lost control of the class.
well, this is
because
at
this kid-
lunch?
Still, you're when you just want those little bastards just eating and not doing anything else. But when they start going, oh, look at Tommy. He's gonna pull his lip over his fucking
Fucking
head.
hell, he's
Like,
eating his own face. Maybe we should stop
eating
this.
his own face. Yeah. By the way, what happens if this kid suffocates to death on your watch at lunch? Like, yeah, they of course they went crazy. I get it.
I mean, it wouldn't be a huge loss to the human race. We're overpopulated as it is.
There's gonna be a liability suit anyways.
Oh, he's going to be pumping gas one day. Oh no, I can do my
I'm
own.
making tips by pulling it. Like, guess what? He was the safest one during COVID. He had his own natural mask, man. It was amazing.
I bet when he does it, I imagine he looks like. Do you remember in Beetlejuice where they try to pull those faces to scare them? I reckon that's what he
I
looks
hear
like.
what you're saying.
So Pat, maybe
I have an image in my head.
maybe he made a killing in candy for Halloween.
He would have been a great circus performer 100 years ago. Step right into the tent and see the man who can swallow his own face.
Right next to the
10
bearded
cents.
lady.
Right next to the bearded lady and the snake lady.
The snake lady.
Yeah, she just does this.
She just dances.
She just dances, but she looks sexy and she slithers like a snake. And it's just she's a snake lady. That's for the adult crowd. Don't you worry about that.
Snake lady. I want to see what this. Was it Freak Show?
Freak show, snake lady.
Snake lady. Oh my god, it's auto populated. So this is a thing. Oh, and she'd carry a snake. That makes sense.
Yeah, of course she has a snake. Why wouldn't she?
That's not the same as like. Cause you got like. Do you remember like the Elephant Man and all that?
Sure.
Would they really like? Well, we need more things. Like, oh hey, lady, can you carry a snake? We'll call you the Amazing Snake Lady.
Yeah. And guess what? 100 years ago, people freaked out and like, oh my god, this woman is just dancing with a snake around her. She's a deity.
There's this carnival. It looks like an old poster. It's hand drawn clearly because it's literally just a snake coiled around a tree branch, but with a head of a woman. And the title is Snake Girl. And it says no arms, no legs, no bones. I don't believe that bit because I can understand an amputee, but no bones. But then in an additional bubble, it does say alive, which is good to know.
They probably put a woman with no arms and legs in some sort of snake apparatus harness,
like body stocking,
she just
like a giant
she just went
sock.
And she just did this shit.
For those
And
listening,
she probably made more money than most blue collar workers that year.
Moving like a snake,
like a sexy snake,
But anyway, yeah, well done, I guess, for gurning yourself into the Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah. Now, put that on your resume and see what jobs you get, you dick. Anyway, still to come. We're talking about.
I'm glad to see you're feeling better compared to last week.
Back, baby.
Back, baby.
Still to come. The Marvel was released. The Marvels. And if you've seen the numbers, apparently might not be that marvelous, but we'll get into that in this week's movie review and also the Celebrity Battle Royal, much, much more. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break.
Okay, buddy, let's see what you got.
You're on. How about the loser pays the other's phone bill?
Oh, that depends. Have you been dialing 10321?
You know it. 10321 saves over AT&T on every call.
What better way to keep in touch?
Yep, great for all those quick calls to Mount Ruth.
And saves me big time on those long ones to Grammy and Phoenix. 50% off calls over 20 minutes.
I hear you. Just dial 10321, then 1 in the number.
That's the only way to do long distance.
Correction, my man. Oh! That's the way you do long distance. 10321.
It's now time for the middle of the show quiz.
Hey, welcome back to Waffle Box episode 124. It's the middle of the show, so if you ask me, it's the perfect time to play the middle of the show quiz. And as always, we like to highlight a special person's birthday, so let's find out whose birthday it is. It's Old Dirty Bastard.
ODB is for the children.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, obviously, unfortunately, RIP is no longer with us, but today would have been, I say today, when this released, or 15th of November, would have been ODB's 55th birthday. So happy birthday to you, you crazy bastard. But there you go. So I've got 5 questions lined up about ODB. And obviously the whole idea is hopefully Kush to get 5 out of 5, if not 3 out of 5 for the technical win. Kush, are you ready?
That's me.
Are you ready to have your knowledge tested of Old Dirty Bastard? Yep, that sounds good. All right, so question numero uno.
Number 1.
Old Dirty Bastard was born in Brooklyn, New York.
True.
But what borough of New York was famed for being the birthplace of Wu-Tang Clan, of which, of course, he was a member?
Yeah, Strong Island, Long Island, New York.
Correct. Yes.
I should get bonus points for calling it Strong Island.
Well, Strong Island actually isn't.
Shaolin.
Strong. What was it? I might have preemptively given you the correct thing. What is your nickname? What do you think the nickname Strong Island is referring to?
Long Island? And someone got drunk one night and slurred it out?
Afraid, Kush. I'm gonna have to give you one of them.
What?
Because Long Island is not a New York borough. Long Island is technically part of Queens, and Wu-Tang Clan was from Staten Island. Staten Island.
So what just happened there? Do I not have a point now? I had a point.
I took it away. Took it
Why
away.
would you do this to me? Where's my gun?
Strong Island isn't a place in New York. New is whatever. You can get it back. Number 2.
Number 2.
His final live performance was at the Gathering of the Juggalos in 2004, which is a music festival promoted by which rap group?
Yeah, Insane Clown Posse.
I'll give you that one. Well done.
Yeah, fascinating characters. You don't have to like their music, but fascinating characters.
Do you know what? Some of their songs are bangers. Oh,
okay, right on.
There's I can't remember. It used to be called Homies, but then they changed it to something else. I think it's like called. They changed the name to Juggalo Homies because then they later released another song called Homies, and then I guess someone said, "Wait, we've already have a song called Homies." Nah, fuck. And so rather than changing the name of the most recent one, they went back and changed the name of the whatever.
They could have just called it Homies Part 2, but whatever. They know what they're doing. They know their audience. Yeah.
Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your music. Juggalo Homies by Insane Clown Posse. It's a fucking banger. Number 3.
Number 3.
ODB's name was derived from which? You might actually get this one because I know you're into this kind of shit. ODB's name was derived from which 1980s Chinese martial arts movie?
There'll be so many of them.
Technically, there is 2 names to the same movie, so you got 2 chances to get this one right.
Enter the 36 Chambers, which is the name of the album. So the 36 Chambers is the movie.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
good logic, yeah. But it was, and you're gonna kick yourself, Kush, when you hear this. The movie's name was Old Dirty and the Bastard.
Oh, okay. I'm not. What's the alternate name?
He was also known as quote, an old kung fu master?
I'm not familiar with either of those, to be honest. And like,
Ooh.
I wasn't the biggest Wu-Tang guy, but I was pretty up to date on them. So, okay, I learned something. That's exciting. I think I've lost, but let's keep going.
No, you can get these last two questions right, and you can save yourself. You're still in the game. You're still in the game.
Look at me being the defeatist. Excuse me.
Question number 4.
Number 4.
That's what dramatic shingles get here. Number 4.
It's the great way. I love this question.
Oh.
I do apologize to ODB and his whatever. So, question number 4 is: in 1997, Old Dirty Bastard was arrested for failing to pay child support for 3 of his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Which rap group released a song proclaiming that 3 was the magic number?
Oh, third base?
Are you just making these up? Is third
No.
base even a thing?
Yes.
3 is the magic number. De La Soul, baby.
De La Soul. Okay.
Oh my god. Look at you. You're being out hip hopped
De La Soul's mainstream.
by a white man
that
from
was-
Essex in England.
Yep.
At least you're
We're
from California.
in De La Soul. Oh my god. How dare you?
You're losing your
How
street
dare
cred, one question at a time.
I guess. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Well, let's try a
You're
safe
not right.
face here
All right.
with question number 5.
Number 5.
In 2006, and this is where you can tell I was really struggling to get the 5th question. In 2006, Old Dirty Bastard featured on BK's single, Where Brooklyn At? So the question is, where is Brooklyn at compared to Queens? North, south, east, or west?
Oh. Goddamn geography. I'm gonna say north. Yeah. I've been to Queens. I've been to Brooklyn. I've been, but I wasn't there last week. So shit.
You're in Queens. To get to Brooklyn, you travel south.
Okay.
So you got the Bronx at the top,
Mhm.
and then down here you got the island of Manhattan,
Mhm.
and then Queens, Brooklyn, and down the bottom is Staten Island, where no one cares. Like the only reason you go to Staten Island is because you want to look at the Statue of Liberty, and rather than paying their ridiculous prices, you just get on the Staten Island ferry for free, and it drives past the Statue of Liberty, and you go, look, there it is. And then you get to Staten Island, and the only thing you do is you grab a beer and you wait for the ferry back to Manhattan. And you're like, fuck this place.
Easy peasy.
This place sucks.
Right.
It's a true story. Anyway, other than the fact that obviously Wu-Tang Clan is from Staten Island. Shout out to Wu-Tang Clan. But I'm pretty sure they don't hang out in Staten Island anymore.
I really hate that I missed that question because oof, that was bad.
Wow.
But at the same time, I'm not on the East Coast. Again, if I took you into Daly City, I have a strong feeling you wouldn't know that we had left San Francisco unless I was like, now we're in San Mateo County.
Daly City?
What does even that mean?
Isn't that where Superman works as a reporter?
No, that's Metropolis. Daly City is where John Madden was from.
But he worked at the Daily Planet, so that's close enough.
Sure.
All right, it's now time. Oh, baby, it's now time to pit some celebrities against each other in battle and see which one's them's gonna win. It's now time for this week's Celebrity Battle Royale.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah. This week's Celebrity Battle Royale, we are commemorating because on this very day, Old Dirty Bastard, of course, was born, but also on this very day, 15th of November, 1996, was the North American release of what movie, Kush? On this day, 1996, November 15th, 1996, which movie came out?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Jesus Christ. I don't know. It was Space Jam,
Okay.
the original one,
Yeah,
not
yeah, I
the
get it.
remake. What the fuck?
Mhm.
Yeah, you know the
Remake's still
one.
funny. Remake is still a
Yeah.
Looney Tunes cartoon. It's fine.
The one, the movie that gave R. Kelly a bunch of money, made him very rich, and then
Mhm.
he literally
That was his
pissed it
biggest
away
single.
on pun intended.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was at this weird age when Space Jam came out where like I am too old for Looney Tunes cartoons, so I did not see it in the theater. And then it became this huge fucking blockbuster because, Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan, who knew? Anyways, I would rent it on pay-per-view, and then I'd be like, this fucking movie is fantastic. And I was like 17 or 18, so I was a quiet Space Jam fan, but a late adapter.
I was just about right. I was 11, I think. 11 when this
Oh,
came
dude,
out.
you were the
So
target audience.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was loving that shit. But yeah, this week's Celebrity Battle Royal, we are gonna pit 4 of the Looney Tunes against each
Oh shit.
other,
This is gonna be violent.
and we're gonna see who comes out on top. So if you're watching this for the first time, this is his first time. We'll do give 4 names, and then Kush has to tell me in which order they get eliminated from the battle royal. If you can, doesn't have to be, but if you can, for a little bit of extra fun, you can say how they were eliminated, what their finishing moves are, and all that shit. But which order they get eliminated, then who is the eventual winner of the celebrity battle royale? So the 4 contestants are, of course, Bugs Bunny. How can you have a Looney Tunes fight without Bugs Bunny? Daffy Duck. Sylvester, not Stallone, the cat, and Porky Pig. So it's Bugs Bunny versus Daffy Duck versus Sylvester versus Porky Pig. Kush, how's this one playing out?
Jeez. This is this is kind of no offense to you, Mr. Mike Fish. This is kind of an underwhelming four-way draw. It's not a draw, but a four-way match.
In what
So
regard? Is it what it's easy?
it's not easy, but it's pretty predictable. So yeah, Sylvester the cat gets taken out by Porky Pig. They have a back and forth, but ultimately Sylvester is just while he thinks Porky is slipping on his words, Sylvester's pantomiming to the crowd, and Porky Pig just takes his head off. So hits him with the hammer, maybe an anvil. Well, however, Daffy Duck is he's pretty slick. He is pretty clever. He's impatient though. However, Porky is just that slow, unfortunately. So Daffy Duck overtakes Porky the Pig, and then finally Bugs and Daffy have like a 30-man Iron Man match, and ultimately Bugs Bunny overcomes the odds. And yeah, there you go. Bugs Bunny is your winner in this four-way main event.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you in your terms of your winner, because once it gets down to it, because Bugs Bunny, what he likes to get up to, because it would be like, oh, look over there, and then they look over there, and when they turn around, suddenly Bugs Bunny dresses as a woman, and you're like, wait, where's Bugs Bunny gone? And I think he went over there, and then you turn around and Bugs Bunny, from behind, he gets you, right?
I have to tell you, if you had swapped out Sylvester with the Tweety Bird, this would have been a completely different match, and Tweety would have overcome the odds.
Maybe that's why I didn't want to. Maybe.
Well,
but see, I don't think Porky Pig lasts long in this match. Here's why: because he's a big fella, right? And in these types of matches, when it's the last man standing, you're kind of like, I think this is one of those situations, when the bell rings, and then everyone kind of looks at each other, and they kind of like give that nod. And I reckon it's one of those situations where all the other 3 people just team up on Porky Pig. Like, let's go for it. Let's get him out because he's a big boy. So I think he would be the one that gets eliminated first.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But then other than that, I think Sylvester, bless him, Sylvester. He tries, but he'd be out. He would be out.
Sylvester has his moments, but he Yeah,
Bugs
he's
is
not
too
overtaking Porky Pig. He's not overtaking Daffy Duck for sure. And like Daffy's a savage, man. He'll come at you with shotguns. He'll come at you bear traps. Like Daffy can spin his face around
I
and
was gonna
take
say
explosions.
he can get shot in the face and he'll just like turn his beak back around, but like carry on, like bring it on, bitch. You don't give a fuck. So yeah, this is why I think Bugs has to use some trickery, I reckon, to get him. But he's no stranger to the old trickery. That's
However,
why
if
he
Tweety
pulls it
was
out.
involved in this, he would have overcome all the odds. And I'm gonna just hold on to that for another day, possibly. Not gonna tell you why.
Before we move on, speaking of someone that would use trickery to get a win, as we were recording this on Monday, November 13th, this is the 18th anniversary of the passing of one Eddie Guerrero. So shout out to Eddie Guerrero. What a legend! What a legend!
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Never
sad day.
forget. I know. And it's like, do you know what's really bad? Is that this is how big of a wrestling fan I guess I still am, but this is how like huge wrestling was for me, right? And so I have my point of references throughout the year, like, oh, I remember this day because this happened, right? This is how bad of a person I am. I'm a bad, terrible human being.
Wow,
is that even though the first thing happened first, I remember my brother's birthday because it's Eddie Guerrero passed away today. Oh, it's also my brother's birthday. Like I'm reminded about my brother's birthday because he shares the day with Eddie Guerrero's passing. That's
fucking hell.
That's pretty bad. Right? I'm a bad human being, right?
No, because I remember the day Eddie Guerrero, the report came out, and I was like 3 hours late to it. Why does that matter? It did to me at the time. I barely remember it being in November. I have to be reminded when it happened, but yeah, I'm always more stunted by the fact that it actually did happen because it was that fucking sad. I remember TiVoing the SmackDown the Friday was it Friday or Thursday? Because it was weird that time. But anyway,
it might have been Thursday at that point, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, the previous SmackDown before Eddie's death, and the very final 30 seconds is promoting the next week's SmackDown, which would have been a triple threat match for the WWE title, whatever world title, between Dave Batista, Randy Orton, and Eddie Guerrero. And I want to say Batista was holding the belt, and you knew going into it like Eddie was going to take it. You just knew. I could have been wrong. They always do that. They have fun doing that. We know Eddie's going to win it, so that's why Eddie's not going to win it. But yeah, that was sad times. I'm very sad about Eddie Guerrero's death. I was at the Cow Palace when he beat Brock Lesnar, and yeah,
that was a terrible pay-per-view, but that match fucking ruled. That was such a great match. But the rest
it was a difficult pay-per-view. It was a difficult pay-per-view to attend. I can't imagine what it was like watching at home or at a bar. But yeah, like for whatever reason, security was understaffed. So everybody trying to get into the building only could get through one entrance. The thing has 16 entrances. Only one was open. And it was one of those things where like me and three of my friends drank an 18-pack of beer before we even got to the gate.
Well, I vaguely remember, I could be wrong, but I vaguely remember them trying to pass that off on the air. Because I remember they used to do Sunday Night Heat before pay-per-views.
Yes, and we missed Sunday Night Heat. I've
and they did like
Billy Kidman live forever. 3 attempts, 0 success.
But they would always do so maybe like Billy Kidman was in. No, I don't think Billy Kidman was. I think he might have been actually on the pay-per-view, right? I think he might have been in the opening match.
He was on Heat, I promise you.
Oh, was it on Heat? Okay, but yeah, they would do a match on Heat as kind of like the pre-show warm-up.
Yes.
And I remember watching it, and the arena was like almost empty.
No,
and I remember them like trying to pass it off as like, oh hey, we're in California, so everyone's fashionably late. But
honestly, not a bad explanation for the rest of the folks. No, I have to think security was understaffed. because they only had one entrance. This is the Cow Palace. It's got more than one entrance. It's got multiple doors all next to each other. They had no security for that thing, and so we fortunately got in just as heat ended. That's how early we had to get there, though. Also, and still, we killed 18 beers, the three or four of us, and we were on multiple weed cookies. But we got in there just as the official pay-per-view started. We had just missed heat, and I was mad about that because I wanted to see. I love the shooting star press. I think it was one of the most amazing moves in pro wrestling. It's just a front flip. Swimmers do it all the time, but Billy Kidman was like, I'm gonna just do it off the top corner. Anyway, yeah. Anyways, fun times, dude. And we tore the roof off the house when Eddie Guerrero won the title. That's the long story long.
And one of my favorite, before we move on, we are going to get to the movie segment, but my favorite during, I might have mentioned this on a Waffle Box prior, but whatever, I'll mention it again since it is the day. One of my favorite, when he was tagging with Chavo, his nephew.
Fun times.
And they were doing the Los Guerreros, and they were doing like the vignettes of them lying and cheating and stealing.
That shit was a little weird for me, but keep going.
But one of the funniest was one where they were pretended to be pool workers or pool boys, and they were they could go to an old woman's house and use the pool for a party. And it was the reason it was like, oh yeah, hey, so we're from the pool people, blah 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 blah, and we have to check your pool in case there's a leak. And then Chavo was like, oh yeah, you don't want your pool leaking. And then just the timing of it and his face, where Eddie Guerrero was like, yeah, you might get wet. And I just died laughing. It was so perfect. The comedy, the timing, this comedy's bad timing, and he was fantastic at it.
They were really good at it. I think I sincerely forget if Chavo was before or after, but when Eddie was tag teaming with Tajiri, that was some of my favorite stuff. The lowrider is still in effect. And
I think
see the
camera work of after Los Guerreros.
I want to say, really? Okay. Because regardless of which timeline it is, Tajiri got busted with the fucking wellness program. Tajiri pissed hot. And that's why him and Eddie couldn't be tag team partners anymore. It's like, God damn it. Like, this was such a delightful combo.
I think he might have segued. That might be when he's no, because then he started tagging with Batista towards the end.
Eddie and Batista?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all, but okay.
Yeah. But like Eddie would drive Batista to the ring on his lowriders.
Wow, I don't remember that at all, but okay.
Yeah, and then if you watch the SmackDown after Eddie passed, Batista drives the lowrider to the ring.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that was one of those moments. I'm getting too sentimental, but that was one of the worst moments, because I'm one of these people that I don't cry unless I see, like, one of the big things that can make me cry is seeing a grown man cry. And like when my dad tried it, his mum's funeral. Oh my god! Oh, geez. And Batista, who is obviously Drax the Destroyer. I mean, he's a big fella, and to see him when he came out and he was like trying to talk about Eddie, and he was like literally crying, like uncontrollably. It's like, oh my, this is really difficult to watch. Jesus.
I had the same effect when Chris Benoit gave his eulogy on the
he was like child levels, but he was almost like snot bubbles coming out. This is how upset this boy was.
Yeah. And then ultimately, like, not even like 4 months later,
and then he went
Chris Benoit
crazy, and
that was no bueno. And that's when I stopped believing in heroes.
But Chris Benoit,
yeah, it was a shitty ending. You can't sugarcoat it. It happened. Let's just get into the next thing, guys. Anyway,
it's that time.
Eddie
Guerrero, cheers. But it's now time for a Kush to talk about a movie. Sucker in
The
sucker
movies?
Bash. It's now time for Kush to review a movie in a segment that we like to call Kush's Movie Review.
Kush's Movie Review.
Welcome to Kush's Movie Review, a little video where Kush reviews a movie. If you are watching the standalone version on the YouTubes, please don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and let us know in the comments what you thought about the movie or what you thought about this review. This week's review is The Marvels, which is a movie about the ones left over from the Avengers that no one cares about, but they're about. I feel bad saying that because obviously this is a very woman-heavy.
Women
Marvel
are
movie.
in it, but we'll get into that.
But it's kind of so I feel bad for shitting on it.
No, you're
because I want to be,
No.
I want to be an ally and all that. But
you can still be an ally in this review, my friend.
But
I
yeah.
promise.
So this one's this is like
this
too
is
many
Marvel
Marvels.
Comics
This
movie
is
number
Marvel's
33.
Marvel Cinematic Universe presents The Marvels featuring Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. There's too many Marvels.
Yep. They get paid by how many times they say the word Marvels.
God damn it. Is it any good?
I had a good time. I sincerely had a good time. Look, kids, the MCU can't produce a top 10 with every iteration. That is 1,000% a fact. Is this a good movie? I had fun. No, it's only okay at best. It's only okay at best. Is it a bad movie? It is better than Captain Marvel, but it's not in the bottom 5. And again, this is Marvel Comics movie number 33. So, this is written by 3 women: Megan McDonnell, Eliza Karasik, and then written and directed by Nia DaCosta. If you guys are familiar with that name, and most of you are not, honestly.
3 writers?
3 writers, one of them directed it.
That I was, Jesus Christ. I was about to say, because no one, it doesn't matter who they are, but for me, 3 writers in a movie, it might be a common thing, I don't know, but that sounds like too many writers, too many brains involved there. And I was about to say that's too many cooks in the kitchen, but then because this is a woman-heavy movie, then it sounds like a sexist thing to say. So I was like, fuck, don't say that. And then I said it anyway. I apologize.
You can always edit this out, but I know you won't.
No.
So own it.
I'm owning it.
Fine.
I said it. It was a bad thing to say. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you why it's not a bad thing to say. This didn't have 5 writers. This didn't have 4 writers. This didn't have 8 writers. And with big projects like that, we've had that problem before. This movie cost $220 million to make. That's not including the marketing budget, which, because of the strike, was significantly less than it normally is, but who cares? Yeah, man, it had 3 writers, but again, one of them is the director, so I think that's super important. Nia DaCosta is an important name that no one remembers, but she directed the most recent Candyman movie from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I forget how long the newest Candyman movie was, but it was like the most successful movie of that month by a woman.
Great documentary about John Candy, if you haven't seen it.
There you go. Oh, very funny. John Candy, by the way, is a Canadian football owner, Canadian Football League owner.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Obviously. Anyways, this movie stars Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. Tiana Paris, her name is Photon, but she's also Captain Rambo. Photon never comes up in this thing, and a running joke is like, we're gonna call you Lady Marvel. We're gonna call you Black Marvel. We're gonna actually never said that.
Captain Rambo.
That is my bad. Captain Rambo.
That's a great fucking name.
She should own that, right? but
Oh.
she don't. And then Ms. Marvel, all played by Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, Amon Vitali, and then our villain's name is Ben with two N's, and that is by a woman named Zawi. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Ashton.
Wait, sorry. Pause.
She looks
was
pausing.
Now the brain box is kicking. Was Captain Ramp? Was she the one from like the TV Disney Plus show?
WandaVision.
WandaVision. Is that
Yes.
her? Okay.
That is her.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Captain Rambo is from WandaVision, but you know what? WandaVision didn't focus on this character long enough. She was a very supporting cast, and when you see her develop her powers, you're like, oh, all right, well, that happened. Okay. And then you don't really think about it again. You're wondering why Wanda is now in the skies fighting this other witch played by whoever. The fact that no one remembered her name before this, and now everyone loves her. Catherine Hahn. Very funny lady, but no one gave a shit about her before WandaVision. And then Ms. Marvel, obviously Aman Vallali. That TV series was delightful. It was a lot of fun. It is very charismatic. The character is a lot of fun because the actress is as much a fangirl as anything else. And then episode 6 or whatever, the final season ending, it had to end. So it had a shitty ending, and yeah, no one gives a shit about Miss Marvel.
It did the X-Men jingle. I remember that. Oh,
Okay.
You are
Cool.
a mutant. Oh.
You know what? They don't even focus on that at all. That should be a complaint of mine, because in the TV series Ms. Marvel, and a lot of you guys that aren't hardcore Marvel Comics fans and you're very casual fans, like, yeah, Marvel's comics come out with another movie. Yeah, we might go see that. That's fun. Not everybody sees all these movies, despite how much money they used to make. Heavy emphasis on used to. I don't think you need to do any homework for this movie, but again, in the TV series Ms. Marvel with Amon Valley, she has a bangle. She has a little Wonder Woman bracelet here, and they allude to, like, oh, you're supposed to have 2 of those fucking things. It shows up in this movie, but there's no real explanation for this. I went out of my way to explain the villain's name because it's not brought up in this movie a lot. In fact, her name is quite forgettable. So is the actress. She's not bad in this. In fact, she has a great motivation, but they don't lean into it enough. But where else do I want to go with this? Look, the movie is a lot of fun. Aman Vallali is she steals the movie. Tiana Paris should have more focus on her name. Brie Larson is actually a lot better in this than in the original Captain Marvel. The original Captain Marvel movie, I think I gave a 1 out of 6. It was not a fun movie. I did not like it. It was trying to impose a lot. It was trying to impose a lot of stupid shit on us, and then hit us with a 90s soundtrack.
Banging, though.
The soundtrack is fine, but because we had Guardians of the Galaxy, we had to hit every 10 minutes with a 90s needle drop, which was just obnoxious at some point.
But in a vacuum, that soundtrack's amazing. But the timing, I could appreciate, like you say, the timing of it was like, oh, you're just trying to have a good soundtrack rather than having a good soundtrack organically, I guess.
Well, one of the last final battles is No Doubt's "I'm Just a Girl."
No, that just removes all tension from it.
Yeah, that shit was stupid. And the marketing going into that is girl power, girl power, girl power. Which, look, you and me both, I'm going to speak for you. I shouldn't do that, but I'm like, we're not intimidated by women, and girl power is very cool. Go girl power.
Yeah, I own all Spice Girls albums.
There you go. That's what's up, dude. I don't have any of this, but still, you do you. Um, they were very heavy-handed, and I think they leaned back a lot from that in this film. There was a writer strike, so no one could promote this. But we've also had other movies in this writer strike, this actor strike, where no one could promote anything, and like Five Nights at Freddy's made $80 million. Also being available for free on the Peacock app, and people are just like, I need to see Five Nights at Freddy's. So, look, anyways, getting back into the Marvels, I had a lot of fun with this. This is way better than Captain Marvel. It's not in the top 10 of good Marvel movies. It's also not in the bottom 5 of worst Marvel movies. It has, however, made the least amount of money. That doesn't mean anything to me. Is this going to have legs? Meaning, is it going to make money as it goes along? Is this going to last longer than 3 weeks? Probably not. It'll probably get removed in 2 weeks, however. I liked seeing Captain Marvel in this. I like Brie Larson's performance, where I didn't in the previous Captain Marvel movie, or even in Endgame. Endgame. She's actually vulnerable in this. She's still one of the most powerful characters within the MCU. However, like, she gets tossed. She gets tossed around the room. She gets tossed around the country. Like, Captain Marvel gets fucked up quite a bit in this. Do I think she's ever going to die? Of course not. But at some point, we find out what the villain's motivation is, and that can also be a big complaint for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You just see the trailer, and it's like, this movie's coming out. Here's the date. Put it on your calendar. We're going to release 3 more trailers so you guys go crazy. I see the first trailer. I mark the date. I don't look at anything else. So I understand there's been some controversy where, like, they tried to connect it to Thanos. They tried to connect it to Captain America and Iron Man. I missed all that shit, but if you got wrapped up in that, that's your fault. Anyways, we get into a movie that never even happened in between Captain Marvel and this movie, where Captain Marvel accidentally committed genocide.
What?
Our villain, her motivation is to get, she would like revenge against Captain Marvel, but she's trying to preserve her lifespan. And one day, some alien came out of the sky and killed their god. Their god was an AI creation. Artificial intelligence was controlling this entire planet and how it lived, the vegetation and the weather and how people are feeling physically and biologically, etc., etc. And for whatever reason, we don't really get into it, but Captain Marvel felt like, oh, this AI thing is bad, so I'm going to murder it. And guess what? Put this whole planet's lifespan into jeopardy. The oceans dried up, vegetation ceased to exist, animals and meat, protein all became scarce. People had to breathe through respirators because the oxygen became unbreathable. So when Dar Ben, again, her name is not mentioned a lot in this thing, so I get it. And by the way, her explanation to her people when she's giving her a little war speech, it's pretty horrific. Like, Brie Larson is murdering people in this just to get to their god.
Was that almost like, you're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, no, fuck Captain Marvel up. Fuck her.
Well, she feels guilt for it too, and she's trying to do it, but no one's helping. So, anyways, all of this comes into play. An hour and 45 minutes, man. Like, I appreciated the runtime. Did I want more? No, not really. Does it need to have been made into a TV series? No, not really. Would I like to have seen the movie where Captain Marvel fucked up and committed genocide? Yeah, that would actually probably been pretty cool. Or they could have leaned in more into that into the story. Like, it's kind of just like, I didn't tell you guys, but I accidentally committed genocide. It's literally just kind of like, my bad. My bad.
I had too much to drink last night, and I think I committed genocide. Oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, this movie is not terrible. It is not the best. I get why it is now the lowest. A lot of people, despite the fact that the original Captain Marvel made over $1 billion, it was literally the lead-in movie to Endgame.
Yes.
So people thought, the fanboys thought, oh, we're gonna get extra details for the next movie, and no, you really didn't. You didn't. Whatever. So it does not surprise me that this movie made less. Lots of folks did not like Captain Marvel. The target audience, women, did not like Captain Marvel. The original Captain Marvel, she's kind of a badass from the beginning. In fact, it's really weird where we get into situations where, like, I want to be a drag cart racer. Like, sweetheart, I'm your father, and you were 8 years old. You cannot be a drag cart racer because it is too dangerous for you at this moment in time. But for some reason, that translated to the patriarchy holding her back. She's an Air Force captain now, but that's okay. Anyways, the original Captain Marvel, not a good movie. This new movie, I liked it a lot. Not in the top 10, not in the bottom 5, but it was fine. A lot of people are trying to figure out why this movie did not do well. And,
I have a theory.
Break it down, Mike Fish.
Well, my theory is because even like there's talk about I think this might be a situation where Marvel thought that more people were on the Marvel bandwagon than they were. I think there's a lot of people who see a Marvel movie and be like, yeah, I'm down to watch that. But I think a lot of maybe Disney or Marvel really thought more people were like subscribed to Disney Plus and really following everything Marvel releases. Because realistically, I mean, if you look at the poster, if you haven't watched the Disney Plus Marvel stuff, you are looking at this poster and going, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Like, you don't know. Like, there's a lot of, I mean, I know there's some cameo, like, for example, you have to have watched WandaVision, you have to have watched Ms. Marvel. There's even like, I know there's cameo appearances, so it's not like poster child, but also like it helps if you watched Hawkeye on Disney Plus. So there's a lot of the Disney Plus miniseries that kind of tie into this. And so I think maybe, again, just a theory, that because of that was heavily in it, like the people who have watched just the movies are looking at maybe the trailers and going, I don't know who that is. So I'm not that pumped up about seeing it. I'm not worried about seeing it. That's my theory.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong with that theory. It's not a complete theory, but you're not wrong with that theory. So you are correct. Not everybody who's a fan of the MCU has a Disney Plus subscription. And so several people did not see WandaVision, who, by the way, Monica Rambeau, Captain Rambeau, was not a big part of the story. She
not
was
until
a side
like
character.
the last, it seemed like it was very shoehorned in because it was
You're not wrong with that. Yeah. And then not everybody saw Miss Marvel. By the way, Miss Marvel is actually one of my favorite D+ series. The ending, the final episode, freaking sucks and becomes a TV show again because we got to wrap this up right now.
Well, they all seem to do that. Like, Hawkeye did that, I remember. Where it was like a very nicely paced show, and then all of a sudden they remembered, oh shit, we only got 6 episodes. Right, 6th episode has to wrap everything up quick. So that does seem to be a thing. We gotta
get Hawkeye to the family for Christmas. Well, I understood that. It's a TV show. And so I've been treating TV shows as TV shows.
Loki, man. I think Loki might be the only Marvel TV series that paces everything perfectly to a
because of the experiences I have had and the conclusions I've jumped to. I saw season to episode 1 of Loki, and I don't care, and I'm gonna skip the rest, and I'm gonna just live with it. And maybe I'll go back.
I'm
Maybe
not
I'll
gonna
go
be.
back, but
I'm not gonna be that guy and
probably
overhype everything and be like, "Oh my god, no, Kush, seriously, oh my god, you're wrong. You have to go watch this. As soon as we get off this podcast, you need to go back and watch it." But I would like, if ever you're like, "Oh, I'm bored," or "I've got nothing to do," I might check it. You're not. I don't think you're going to regret checking it out. But by all means, you don't have to rush to do it.
I totally got why people like that season 1. I saw every episode of season 1. I got why y'all liked it. I totally understand. What I don't get still is Loki has committed, much like Captain Marvel, Loki has also committed genocide. Okay? He was like, we gotta fucking kill everybody on this planet. And yo, I do not get why he is a fan favorite. But I get why everyone likes that first season. I can't get into it.
I will say again,
So,
I'm not
anyway.
going to be that guy and tell you how you are going to feel because everyone's different. But again, I will say my personal feelings after watching the season finale of Loki season 2, they wrapped everything up and they made every part of, for me at least, every part of his character arc, even like from out the movies to the show, everything just met perfectly. It's like, oh, that's a really good way of wrapping up this character arc, the story arc. It was very well done. Again, yeah, I would recommend checking it out, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be something you need to rush and watch. But if you ever looking for something to watch, I would at least encourage you to give it a second chance at some point. Don't write it off. That's all I'll say.
From what I understand, Tom Hiddleston is out of his Marvel contract now. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I understand. However, I feel like we have not seen the last of Loki, including that series finale.
Well, I will see how they ended it, but again, I don't want you to put a gun on me.
Again, a man not afraid of spoilers.
Oh, okay. So if you know, but I will say this then, in that I won't spoil the ending in case someone's listening to this.
For the Syrup Squad, the Syrup Squad will appreciate that.
But they, similar to what I said about Jonathan Majors in our little mid commercial break conversation that's currently not on the podcast, but they ended the series where, again, perfectly, where if Loki never appears in an MCU thing again, they wrote him off fantastically. But at the same time, they did it where if they wanted to, they could bring him back. But if this is the last time Tom Hiddleston's in it, it's a hell of a send-off. I will say that. I apologize. We're talking about the Marvels, but yes. Check it out.
Because of the multiverse. No, this is all part of the conversation.
We're just riffing, man.
This is how complicated the MCU has decided to become.
True.
Okay. Everything has to be wrapped into everything.
Doctor Strange has 3 eyes now.
We're doing it correctly, sir.
That's how complicated
and it gets complicated. So, again, will we even see that in the next movie featuring Doctor Strange? Probably not, because it's become
because
so
the Kang Dynasty
might
might suddenly have a new title. Spoiler alert.
True. It might become the Doom Dynasty, but not important. Not important. I wanted to go somewhere with this, and I got off track here. That's okay. When people talk about, do I need to do homework for this? It doesn't hurt. However, with the 1 hour and 45-minute runtime, look, they give you the bare bones of everyone's character. So you understand that Monica Rambeau, she walked through a portal in WandaVision. If you want to see WandaVision, that's available. You can see that. If you want to go back to that. However, it's fine until it wasn't. Not important. That's how I got my powers, and then I've been doing shit with Nick Fury forever. Miss Marvel, again, I found my grandmother's bangle, and that's the MacGuffin for this film. You don't need. We even get the first 5 minutes. We meet Miss Marvel in the Marvels. You get the flow of the show. She does a lot. She's a big fan girl. She does a lot of comic book artist art drawings. But anyways, well, they do the whole thing. Like you're caught up. If you want
So what
to
you're saying
know
is that
more,
if you have watched everything that Marvel's done, you'll get more out of this. However, if you haven't,
No.
they do enough to where you still enjoy it. Like you don't have
if
to
you
have
have more
watched it.
than 3 brain cells, yes, sir. Okay, it's you don't need to do extra homework for this. They explain
Again, I was
everything.
like, because the reason I was saying this is because again, sorry, I apologize to keep bringing Loki up, but because it's the most recent thing I've watched, is that
Bring it on.
when I was explaining it to someone, is that I think Loki, the 2 seasons, if that's the only thing you've ever watched when it comes to Marvel, I think they do a good enough job to set up. They show a little bit of backstory and they set up the story, and then it's its own little thing in the show. So I think you'll enjoy it even if you haven't watched anything else in the Marvel universe. Obviously, if you have, you get a little bit more out of it, of course. But I think they do that well enough where you don't have to have seen anything. So it's interesting to see, like, what you're saying is, did they do that with this? Whereas, like, could this be your first ever Marvel movie and you still go like, oh, this is pretty fun? Or does it rely too much on, hey, did you do your homework before watching this movie?
You know what? Most sequels will give you at least 3 minutes to go. If you didn't see this, hey, do you remember that time where I taught you hasta la vista and find the keys in the dashboard and do this other thing? That's a Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines reference, by the way. Like, you didn't have to see Terminator 2, but everyone saw Terminator 2. But if you didn't, if you're in that 5% of people who didn't see that movie, you understood what happened. And then maybe it might draw you to go back and see Terminator 2. That happens here. Yeah. But there's also a great explanation where the villain, whose name is Dar-Ben, Zwa Ashton is her name, and she looks a lot like Amelia Clark with a tan. Change her hair color a little bit. She looks a lot like Amelia Clark. I'm just going to say that up front. However, again, this woman gives her motivation. It's a horror story. Captain Marvel looks terrifying because guess what? She tried to defend herself, tried to defend her planet, tried to defend her god against Captain Marvel and failed. And that is her motivation, is to bring life back to her planet. They don't lean into that enough. And, we get some other things. We go to Bollywood Planet, which, by the way, is called Aladdin. Remove a D from Aladdin, kind of swap a couple letters around, and
Lanolin?
are. But
like sheep's
Aladdin. Aladdin.
An Anchorman reference.
Aladdin.
Lanolin?
Other than it's literally missing a D from Aladdin.
Like sheep's wool?
I don't know. I've not been around too many sheep's wolves.
Anchorman, great movie.
Okay. Well, that would also be cool. Anyways.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite part of the podcast, by the way. Once we get about 2 hours into the recording, and like I realize because sometimes this doesn't always happen, but this week is one of those magical ones where so British people have a drinking game. It's basically, oh, hey, you got more fucked up than I did. I can already tell that Kush is a little bit more inebriated than I am. And he's getting annoyed at my shit. And I'm like, yeah, he's more drunk than I am. I won. So
I've been drinking rum. And you've been drinking the beer. So probably. Keep poking that bear. You're lucky 3,000 miles are between us, sir. I'd suplex you right now.
I believe you. I believe you.
I don't even know how to suplex man, but that would probably happen. Look, y'all, this is the Marvels. It's PG-13. I'm giving it a low 3 out of 5. Should I give it a 2? No. It's better than Captain Marvel. You don't need to have seen the other 2 Disney Plus shows, but for those comparing it to a TV show, it's totally understandable. It's not a bad time. I don't understand the hate behind it. I do understand why it's made the least of everything, because Marvel is now, they thought they could just put their name on anything and it would make close to $1 billion, and that is not the truth. So we are getting that right now. There's 33 of these again. Not everyone is going to be in the top 10. Is this in the bottom 5? Absolutely not. So the Marvels, I can't recommend you seeing it in theaters, but it is not the worst thing that has come out this year. The worst thing, I think, might be Ant-Man 3 Quantumania or Fool's Paradise. Still, we got like 8 more weeks left.
Yeah,
in this
I
year.
feel bad for the Ant-Man franchise because it seems to be always used as like a platform to further up. So it's kind of it's sacrificing his movie to further on another storyline, and it happened here again because it was like this is like where we're kickstarting the multiverse Kang storyline, and so it was just so much. It was so convoluted because they were trying to kickstart this storyline, and now it might not even fucking end. They might not even continue it.
Ant-Man is disappointing because that first movie was supposed to like just let's pull back a little bit. Let's not make it a world crisis, but like it happens in this one region. Also, there's this guy dealing with a divorce and the stepfather and all that other stuff. And by the way, that guy's not an asshole. He's a pretty good dude and just wants the best for his stepdaughter. Yeah, Paul, but yeah, he doesn't care about Paul Rudd. He just wants the best for his stepdaughter. Anyways, Barbie Cannavale.
You're talking about my the other
Barbie
guy,
Cannavale. The stepdad.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyways,
but because while I'm thinking about this, because you mentioned Terminator, before we wrap things up with the feel good story, right? We're going to talk about real quick. I'm going to throw this out there because I have my opinion on this.
I bet you do.
You mentioned Terminator, where like Terminator 3 kind of gives you enough information from Terminator 2 where you don't have to watch it.
Yes.
Out of the 6 Terminator movies that there have been, do you believe that people have to watch them all? And if not, which ones do they need to watch? Because I have an opinion on this, but I'm interested to see what your opinion is on this.
They definitely don't have to watch them all. They should watch the first Terminator. That is a great horror movie.
Correct.
It was a horror movie. No one remembers that. It's a horror movie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was the bad guy. He was the villain.
Yeah. Terminator 2 is a great action movie.
Fantastic.
You should watch that because it fucking holds up still. Like, damn. Great goddamn action movie. Terminator 4, Terminator Salvation, is a completely different movie. Tried to be a different movie. Does it succeed? We're going to just let you go like, I'm going to let you make your own determination, but it was a different movie. It was trying to stay in the
I bet
same
you remember
vein.
that it was trying to launch its own mini universe, was that, if I'm correct?
Probably. But it also came in second place that week to J.J. Abrams' Star Trek. And it ended up getting the Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles canceled because it came in second place. Because people are just like, I don't want to see future Terminator. I want to see present Terminator. Whatever. Terminator Salvation tried to be a different thing. And then we got Terminator 5. And that is the worst goddamn Terminator. Genesis, yes.
Terrible.
terrible. Dark Fate. It's the better Terminator 3.
I was gonna say
Because we're doing the Halloween gimmick, the new Halloween gimmick. That's the only reason that movie got made is Halloween made like $80 million. Halloween 2018 made $80 million. And yeah. So I hear we're getting a Netflix animated series.
Oh, I don't know about that. But I love the fact that you're in the same wavelength as me, in that I think if someone's gonna what Terminator movies do I watch? I would say Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and then Terminator Dark Fate. Terminator Dark Fate is nowhere near as good as 1 or 2, but I think it does a good enough job and is a really good because I think they knew they kind of they kind of Rocky Sixed it, where they kind of ignored the shitty one. Like,
yes,
and it was
same with Halloween.
It was created as okay. This is the sequel to Terminator 2. This happens straight after, or not straight after, but you know what I mean. This is
yes,
and so I think, and it's very good. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is fantastic in it as the guy who is in a relationship with a human, but she doesn't know he's not human, but she's happy with him having sex because he's hilarious or whatever the line was. It was like, I'm a bunny guy. Great movie. It's not nowhere near as good as the first two, but it's so funny.
With movies after Terminator 2, and this is including Terminator 4. Sorry, I just dropped it. Anyways,
Salvation.
It is the better sequel. Again, it's better than Genesis. It's definitely Salvation. Again, Salvation is a different movie, but it is better than Rise of the Machines.
Yeah,
and
3 was
should be
not good.
Replaced with Rise of the Machines.
Rise of the
Should
Machines
be the
was
replacement for Rise of the
Yes.
Machines. Excuse me.
Like when they should just start re-releasing box sets and just have those 3 movies and call them Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Terminator 3. There you go. Anyway, Jesus, what a trip. What a review of the Marvels.
Yeah.
The Marvels in synopsis, awful. Go and see Terminator Dark Fate. It's a great movie.
There you go. The Marvels isn't awful. It's not the best Marvels movie. I'm not gonna go. Does it be in spot 23 or 28? No, we're not doing that. It's not in the bottom 3. Not in the bottom 3. It's also not in the top 5. There you go.
Man, marvelous, as we say. Anyway, let's wrap this show up.
Please.
Jeez, this is the longest show ever. But we're going to send you home with the warm and fuzzy feelings in this week's feel-good story of the week.
It's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
This week's feel-good story comes to us from Mexico City, whatever you want.
Mexico City.
So where a police officer, this is like bookending it. The first story of the show was about a police officer acting like a dick, and now we're ending on a police officer acting like a saint. So a police officer in Mexico City has been promoted after photos of her feeding a hungry baby during the aftermath of Hurricane Otis went viral. Okay. Arizbeth, I do apologize but pronouncing that. Ambrosio has earned a well-deserved promotion after displaying exceptional compassion in the aftermath of the hurricane. She was deployed at Acapulco following a devastating Category 5 storm on October 25th. And she went above and beyond her duties. Why? How? Let's find out. So during the aftermath of the storm and all the rubble and all the craziness, she encountered a 4-month-old baby boy who had clearly not eaten for an extended period and was crying from hunger. So she then approached the distressed mother, and after understanding the situation and the mother had the inability to breastfeed, this police officer, who was a recent mother herself, without being too graphic, but I'll just be graphic, was like, fuck it, whipped out a titty and fed the baby right there on the side of the street, helped the baby. Like, what the fuck? That's amazing. And in recognition of her extraordinary act of compassion, Dionisio was promoted earlier this week. Her rank has been upgraded from Policia Primero to Suboficial. I don't know. I'm assuming that's good, but I don't know. But still, what the fuck? That's incredible. Like, because I mean,
a good deed was done.
I'm a man, so I don't know the whole breastfeeding thing. Our nipples are useless. Like, what is the point? I don't even know why evolution still has men having nipples. It's just like their only use is to, these are getting pretty fucking hard. Must be cold. That's the only. They're kind of basically thermometers at this point. They're dumb. But I know I can imagine, breastfeeding a stranger is I imagine that can be a weird thing for a woman. But fuck it, that she was like, no, there's a baby in distress. I need to feed it, and she fed it. And wow. Like, so salute to you for going above and beyond. Not only just I think not even above your station as a police officer, but above and beyond the human. Like, I don't think many people would have done that. That's incredible. So what a woman. What a human. What a woman. Anyway.
In vogue. Very nice.
Let's get this shit over with so Kush can go to bed. But yes, that wraps up another episode of the Waffle Box, episode 124. It's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute bloody pleasure. Before I send it up to Kush to promote his stuff, you might see from in the graphic, if you're watching the video version, right down here somewhere, that the Twitch handle has changed to Waffle Box FM. So this is a new, I you know me, I just always like to throw shit against the wall and see if it sticks. And so I just decided that next time I stream, rather than stream video games, because I'm not much of a gamer, I do enjoy some video games, but whatever. So what I do, I'm gonna be a DJ sort of thing. So so every now and again, so check out, make sure you go to twitch.tv/WaffleBoxFM, and you'll just sporadically see me go live, where I'll just kind of hang out, talk about life, talk about the world, and then sprinkle in some cool tunes in the meantime. There won't be any video on demand of it, because obviously I'll be playing a bunch of copyright material. So it's just kind of like, if you see it live, you see it live. If you don't, check out the next one. But it's something fun I'm going to do. So again, go to twitch.tv/WaffleBoxFM. Kush, you do other stuff. You do Microdose. Is there a new episode coming out this Friday?
New episode coming out this Friday. We're doing a part 2 with Jamil Hemphill, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the MCU. So neither of us had seen the Marvels at this point, but we're not off. We're not wrong. We're not off.
Does that episode also break out into a Terminator discussion?
No, unfortunately not.
That's a shame. But still, you should check it out. Search Microdose on your podcast players, or just go to bosnet.family. Ooh, of the latest episodes.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. If you haven't yet, follow us on X, aka Twitter, at WaffleBox, WaffleBoxPod on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. But until next time, it's a good night from me. It's a good night from him. So make sure you take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.